Good morning, Florida property owners, investors. Just wanted to give you an update as to how things are running with everything here in Florida with the COVID-19. And just an update also on our local government and state government's laws and emergency orders, and of course how the CARES Act is moving along. As I mentioned in the last video, after discussing with property managers from across the country, we chose to preempt, or actually not to preempt, any communications to our tenants. Quite frankly, I felt that if we would create an excuse not to pay April's rent and keep their money close, that's exactly what the tenants would do. So with that said, we did put together a procedure for those tenants that would reach out to us and have reached out to us that could not pay their rent or had could pay partial rents, things like that. And it was a form that they had to fill out online. And from that form, we went ahead and created a deferment payment plan for April. But that was only after we evaluated their particular situation. And we've had less than 5 tenants do this. So it's not been a great deal that have gone. But we felt the formality was a very important part of this, so that they realize this is something serious. There's a matter of importance here. So having them sign the document, having the landlord sign the documents as well, this is making them realize the importance of it, and that they do need to pay their rent. It's not being forgiven or anything like that. As I said, we've only had a handful that have asked for that kind of relief, and most of them everybody else has paid. I think we have one that still has to go ahead and sign their payment plan. Now, last week, Governor DeSantis decided to extend the moratorium on evictions and, for that matter, on foreclosures for an additional 45 days, which means now that in Florida we could not do any of those type of legal processes until the end of May. That doesn't mean you can't do the notice, doesn't mean you can't file, it's just not, the courts aren't doing anything with them. There was also clarification on essential businesses. Stay-at-home orders were broadened statewide, although we have several areas in Florida actually don't have any COVID-19 cases. The governor was just under a lot of pressure from some political groups, from the media, and they were making him look really bad that he didn't want to try to help spread the COVID-19. In South Florida, we have more stringent rules. The mayors of the counties and the cities acted weeks ago and put a lot of stay-at-home orders in place. Some might have been a little excessive, but they did what they did, and that's put a lot of people out of work. We know that stimulus checks from the CARES Act have been going out. Several of my neighbors, colleagues, some of our renters have said, hey, I got my stimulus yesterday or 2 days ago or today, and that's been great. It's good to know that the Treasury is getting it out. We realize that there was a little bit of a delay with that. But one thing that's not happening very fast is the paychecks program through the SBA and the local banks. Some banks are reaching out and they say, oh, we're overwhelmed, and they're not getting that money out to the small businesses, and they're having to lay people off or things like that. Another issue is our unemployment system in Florida. The CARES Act allows for independent contractors, 1099 employees, to go ahead and apply for these relief, which includes the extra $600 a week, which is wonderful for anybody that's a 1099 employee. However, our state system was not equipped for that. They were supposed to have it ready by April 10th. That did not happen. Today's April 15th, and independent contractors still cannot apply for it. So hopefully the state will get this thing together this week or next. If not, I know the federal government said that they would step in and figure out a way to make it happen. Also, based on available information, we still feel that South Florida should be reaching its peak in the COVID-19 this week, and we should start showing recoveries, less new cases, and we should be on the downswing. Now, that it all depends on when the virus hit that particular area. For our area, it's been coming up on 8 weeks. So 6 to 8 weeks is about the time frame. But we believe that's what's going to happen if it follows most of the viruses like H1N1 in the past. But that's really about it as far as an update. we're striving to make sure that the tenants know that they have a way to communicate with us. Our policy is to openly communicate with anything. And as I said, most of our tenants, what we find is are being very responsible and taking this all seriously, and communicating with us if there's any issues. I think May is going to be a little bit of a challenge if some of these unemployment checks don't get out, but we'll see how that kind of works itself out. We have been sharing information to the tenants directly on where they apply, giving them links in case there's any question or problem with that. A lot of our tenants are essential employees working for city, county, state restoration companies, things that are being utilized and have not had layoffs. But again, I know that not all businesses can sustain that if people are not coming in patronizing their business. So we'll see how that runs. I don't want to delay too much. Just wanted to give that information to you, give you a good update. Probably give you another one next week. I want, Rosa, I wish that you and your family continue to be in our prayers for health and great health and to be safe during this pandemic. We hope you have a great week. And if you have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks so much.